Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look back at last Saturday's Grade 3 Gotham at 1 1/16 on the inner dirt. Important Kentucky Derby prep race. Leading up to the Gotham, El Arib had been the scourge of the 3-year-old division in New York. As they break from the gate, El Arib's going to go to the front, and True Timber is going to say, not so fast. We're not going to let you walk away with this one.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was a lot of pace on paper, so I'm not surprised El Arib went to the front. Unfortunately for him, I guess, and listen, he was a huge favorite, so there are no excuses, but True Timber just did not let him get loose on the lead.
Meanwhile, immediately in behind the top two is Cloud Computing, making only his second lifetime start for trainer Chad Brown off of a sprint performance. He was up close to the pace. You saw Manny Franco angle him down towards the inside to save some ground. If you think Manny had to do it all over again, do you think he just eased back a little bit off these two? Because he stays pretty close.
He keeps right up. You can see him. He's sort of chasing these horses instead of, sort of relaxing. Look where J Boy's Echo is. He's just nicely settled way away from this pace. Nobody near him at all. It's a perfect trip. Maybe Cloud Computing got a little too close to this thing. They're going fast. There's a lot of pressure up there. And it's just his second career start and first two-turn race, so he actually runs pretty well here.
Completely different scenario for El Arib than in his two previous starts, where he was the horse on the outside applying the pressure. Here he's been taking the heat throughout. Cloud Computing's angling off the rail right now, coming with a 3-wide bid. But J Boy's Echo, who is in that perfect spot, watching these three horses battle it out early, he's in full flight 4 wide.
Yeah, a nice run here from Cloud Computing to go up the challenge for it, but he's just no match for J Boy's Echo. He's got all the momentum on the outside. I mean, he comes right by these horses at the top of the stretch, and he is clear to the wire. All the best of it as far as trips go in this race, but he really runs well in this race. I thought Cloud Computing acquitted himself very well in this spot. El Arib, a lot of pressure on the pace or not, and it was a pretty fast pace. He's disappointed in here.
But J Boy's Echo, there had always been hints of potential from this horse. He finally put it all together here, and we have to give Cloud Computing credit because he's hanging in there for second right now. He really hasn't let J Boy's Echo get too far away from him. This was a fast race. 102 buyer speed figure for J Boy's Echo, who's by Mineshaft. He cost $485,000 as a Keeneland September yearling. He's a half to Unbridled Outlaw, who is a Grade 3 placed horse going along. Never really panned out, but the Dama Grade 2 stakes winner. This horse has pedigree. Now he has a fast race. He's got to be considered a horse. Moving forward, they say bluegrass, not wood next.
That's fine. I mean, listen, he's a pretty good horse, and he had disappointed in his prior start a little bit with a much different trip than the one he got on Saturday. We'll see about the 102. I don't know about the figure for that race. The only other 1 16th race on that card came. It was earlier in the day, race number 3. Isabel, who's a fine New York bred, went a couple ticks faster than this race. She went 140.04. These guys went 146.04. These guys went 146.34. Isabel's a mid-80, high 80 kind of horse. She's run a couple of 90s. She also got a 102. I don't know about that figure. I don't know how you make. I know it was a tough day to make figures for, but either way, this horse got a perfect trip and he did what he was supposed to do.
Cloud Computing, again, only second lifetime start, good performance. Behind the 8 ball, some might argue, as it pertains to the classics, because he got such a late start to his career debut on February the 11th. Chad has to be heartened by this performance, obviously, and you would think the Wood would be next on his card.
Yeah, I would think so. I would like to see them carry on with him. He's a pretty talented horse, only 2 starts behind him. He ran well here.
El Arib, I guess if any horse deserves a mulligan, it's El Arib. He ran so well in the Withers. He ran so well in the Jerome. Here he did take a lot of heat as the starting high weight with 123 pounds, but was he exposed just a little bit here? I think there were some questions about his overall quality because he had beaten up on such kind of soft fields.
Right. I would say that stopping on him now and just saying, well, it's over, we can't go on with him, is silly.
Yeah.
I would say expecting him to come back out of this race and somehow blow up and win the Wood or some other big prep, that might be a little silly as well. He's a nice horse, a very good horse. He deserves another chance. It's just, I think the question coming into this race was how good is he really? And maybe he was a little exposed here.
I guess if there was a disappointment in here, it was So Conflated, who finished 6th at 8-1. He had previously won over the synthetic Tapeta surface at Golden Gate in the California Derby. This horse kind of was very unsettled in the gate, and he was throwing his head around a little bit in the starting gate. He got a fast pace, but he never ran.
He was terrible in here. I mean, he got outrun right from the start and never made a move. I would say everybody behind El Arib, you can just sort of toss those horses going forward. I mean, True Timber at least put some pressure on, so maybe there's something there with him. Action Every Day, the Pletcher horse finished 4th. I mean, he did basically no running at all in this race.
It's very telling that Action Every Day, shipping up for Pletcher off 2 wins at Tampa Bay Downs, was so cold on the tote board. He was 16-1, almost the longest shot on the board behind Gaetano, who was 94-1. At the end of the day, would you consider this a breakthrough performance for Jay Boyzeko, who is ready to now emerge as one of the top 5 3-year-olds in the country? Or would you be willing to say, listen, I question the fig, and it doesn't get better from a setup scenario than this?
Right, all those things sort of make me, I still like him. I think he's a good horse, and I like the runner-up as well, so I'd be willing to give those 2 horses at least one more chance going forward to see what happens.
Jay Boyzeko, 102 Beyer speed figure. He wins the Gotham for Dale Romans, and it looks like it's on to the Bluegrass.